All right, guys, we're going to try something a little bit different here today, and instead of me trying to write everything out, I'm just going to use the answer key that's also posted here, but this way you can kind of look through everything, and I'll explain it as we go. So number one, find the value of x. I'll still draw a little bit, but, it doesn't work out as well for me usually when I do that. So you have two inscribed angles here at T and here at W, and they intercept at that arc UV. They both go to the same arc. So because they go to the same arc, that means they are congruent, and as you can see by the work here, they're set equal, and then once they're set equal, you're just solving algebra to get x is 5. That was a horrible, can't even circle when it's already there. Just kidding. All right, so there you go, right? You just set them equal, 3x plus 4 equals 2x plus 9. You solve. This question only asks for x. All right, so like I said, they only ask you to solve for x. If they ask you on the test to find the angle T or the angle W, then you plug it in once you have x, right? Number two, circle M is shown below. Chords KH, HI, IJ are congruent. What is the measure of KHJ? So KHJ, you see it in purple there already, but it goes around almost the entire circle. Yeah, so again, as you see, it goes all the way around. The only information we have here is the inscribed angle, which is 36 degrees. And the rule from your circle formula chart, which y'all will be able to use, is that the inscribed angle is half of the arc. So to work backwards, you double the angle, that gives you the arc. So KJ, the short minor arc, is 72 degrees. So how do you find KHJ? You see right here, 360. The full circle minus the 72 is 288. A couple little things that might be helpful when you get to the test. These chords being congruent should tell you that the arcs are the same length. From K to H, from H to I, and from I to J. Those three are the same. So, if you were trying to find one of them, you know what all three of them equal. Divided by 3. Number 3 in the figure below, AB is tangent to circles O at point A. Secant BD intersects circle O at point C and D. The measure of AC is 60. The measure of CD is 100. So, on your circle formula chart, let me grab one real quick so I can reference the right numbers. That should be in your notes. This is a number 5 on the chart. It's a tangent secant. AB is a tangent, touches the circle once. CD is a secant, goes through the circle. The formula for 5, 6, and 7 on your chart, which helps you find an angle outside the circle, is outer arc, which is this part, minus inner arc divided by 2. Now the problem is, at the first, you have the 60 that's given to you. You don't have this value at the beginning. You have to find it. Okay, and that's what you see done over here. 100 plus 60 are the two arcs you have. Subtract that from 360, you get 200. That's where we get the 200 there. And then you see the formula down here. 1/2, 200, minus 60. 200 minus 60 is 140. 140 divided by 2, 70. All right. Number 4, in the circle below, A, B, and CD are chords intersecting at point E. So on your formula chart, this is the bottom. There's a solid line, then you see segments 10, 11, 12. That's where these are located, but chords inside, really simple. The chords, they're going to give you the information for 2 parts, right? A to E and E to B. The full line, obviously, would be 32. But you take the 2 pieces you're given, you multiply them together, and you set them equal to the 2 parts of the other chord in there, x times 11. So you have x times 11 there, 10 times 22 there, and you just set them equal. So x times 11 is 11x. 10 times 22 is 220. Divide both sides by 11, and you get 20. Number 5, find the value of x. So these are two chords again, two lines inside the circle. But this time you are looking for the angle. So in that situation, you need the arc at the end of it and on the opposite side. Angles formed inside the circle. This is number 4 on your circle formula chart. Add and divide by 2. So real simple, 105 plus 145 is 250. 250 divided by 2, 125. Guys, if you understand how to use this formula chart, this test should honestly be easy. If you understand that and you understand how to do midpoint and distance, you should ace this, because that's really a lot of it, as you'll see when you get it, but this review should help a bunch. 6, find the value of x. X is out here. In here you have 40. So two things going on here. You have these two tangents. This is number 7 on your formula chart. Okay, tangent, tangent. And it's still, like we talked about earlier, though, it's still 1/2 of the outer arc minus the inner arc. The thing here with two tangent is the complete circle is inside the two lines, the two tangents, and that means that you have the full 360 arc to work with. Now, at first, you don't have any value. The only thing you have at the beginning of this problem is the 40. So what you do is you treat it as an inscribed angle, because it is, to find GI. You see over here, we did 40 times 2, because remember, the angle is half the arc, so if you have the angle, double it. You get 80. Okay, that gives me the 80. But then what I have in red there, you don't know that yet. That was also missing. Then you see we did 360 minus 80, because the rest of the circle is the whole circle is 360 minus that 80 leaves you with 280. You have the two values you need. Now you see it plugged into the formula. 1/2, 280 minus 80. 280 minus 80 is 200. Half of 200 is 100. All right, so that's the front page. Hope y'all are doing well. Let's move on to page multiple. Wow. All right, here we are on page 2. Let me get this so it's not so twisty. I don't know if y'all see this when I do this, but there we go. Write an equation for a circle with a center of -3, 2, and a radius of 6. There will be a couple questions about the equation for a circle. Okay, it's really simple, and we'll probably even give it to you in general. But I'll write it here at the top, because this is my name. My name is Circle. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. H comma k are the numbers that make the center point, the x and the y coordinate. R is, of course, radius. See, so I'm not using the pen. So if you're given the center and the radius, you plug it in. The formula defaults at x minus y minus. So if h is positive, you would just plug it in and get x minus your number. If you have a negative number and you plug in, what does minus a negative give you? It gives you x plus. So the -3 goes in and it winds up being x plus 3. The +2 goes in and just slides right in with the y minus. Most important, do not forget to square the radius before you set it equal. The equation does not equal 6, it equals 36. And if you're working backwards, I don't know if we have an example on here, but just in case, if you're given this and you're working backwards, square root that to get the radius. If you see a plus, take it out negative. If it's already minus, take it out positive, right? So either direction you go, it's all there. Number 8, real simple. A quadrilateral is inscribed in a circle. When that happens, opposite angles are supplementary. So X plus 105 is 180. Y plus 105 is 180. So subtract and you get your answer, right? Real simple. If the circumference of a circle F is 18, find the arc length of AED. Arc length is arc degree over 360. Now, normally we give you 2 pi r, but 2 pi r is circumference. If I just tell you what the circumference is, all you have to do is make the fraction of the arc degree over 360 times c. So that's what we're looking to do here. They want you to use the arc AED. Now, originally, the arc AFE, or where the angle AFE is missing. You had the 50 here, you have the 70 here, but the middle is originally gone, or missing. So BD is a diameter. Diameters cut a circle in half to 180. As I scoot over here, that means if I add 70 and 50, I get 120. I subtract that from 180, and that missing slice is 60. So the part I'm looking for is 60 and 50, which is 110. I put 110 over 360, there's the fraction, times the circumference, and that gives you that. Okay, it's real simple. Degree over 360 times circumference. If the circumference is given to you, literally that's all you got to do. Number 10, CD is the diameter of a circle whose center is 6, -4. If point C has coordinates -1, 2, what are the coordinates of D? So if you have a grid, I'll kind of try and draw an example off here to the side real quick. If you have the grid, right, you can plot 6, -4. I mean, I'm just kind of badly estimating these points. And -1, 2, right? And you're supposed to find where D is. So if you have the grid, you plot them, right? And knowing this is the center and this is the middle, you make a slope, right? And it's something like down 6 plus 7. So what a lot of people made a mistake of is y'all tried to find the middle between C and M. There was a question similar to this on, what was it, the quiz? Yeah, something we did. But the idea is you're actually supposed to do another one here, -6 plus 7, and come out here. And that's where you get the 13, -10. What we did here is the way we used to do it when we were just looking at regular lines. I mean, a diameter is a line. It's just, it's part of a circle, but, you know, it works the same way. So from the midpoint, from 6 to -1, it's a -7. So you say, okay, what's plus 7 in the other direction? 6 plus 7, 13. From the -4, the y coordinate, it's a plus 6 to get to 2. So what if I go -6? -4 minus 6 is -10. And that's how you get it. So there's multiple ways. If you're given the grid, you can do slope, right? And then, you know, that's the diameter if you drew it accurately. Otherwise, you can do the lines. 11, the endpoints of the diameter of a circle, Z, are at A, -5, 6, B, 1, -2. What are the coordinates of the center point Z? So there's -5, 6, there's B. Here's midpoint formula. X1 plus X2 divided by 2. All right, Y1 plus Y2 divided by 2. -5 plus 1 is -4. 6 plus -2 is +4. -4 divided by 2 is -2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. -2, 2. And that plots right there. And then the length of the diameter, distance formula, square root x2 minus x1, 1 minus -5, plus y2 minus y1, -2 minus 6. This one happens to work out nicely to 10. If it doesn't work out nicely, you know, round off the decimal. That's fine, no big deal. Beehives is a regular hexagon. The diagonals are drawn from V are drawn. What is the length of SEI? This is arc length. So originally there's no values, there's just the marked angles. But there are 6 letters for the beehives. And so if you take a full circle and divide into 6 equal arcs, each arc is 60 degrees, and that's where we get that. Yeah, that was a phone call in the middle of this video, but I ignored it for you guys. I mean, not just because it was a telemarketer, because I care about y'all. All right. So the arc you're looking for, SEI, goes right there. 60 times 4 gives you 240. Now in this problem, I actually forgot to give you circumference, and that's what's right here. So you put the 240 over the fraction again, over 360, multiplied by 32, and this time you get a decimal. So like we said, just round it off. 13, find the value of x and y. So again, you got your quadrilateral inside a circle. Opposite angles are equal to 180. So this time you kind of have to do some algebra. 2x plus 18 equals 180. 3y minus 7 plus 3y plus 1. And then you just do algebra, combine your like terms, you get a 3x plus 18 is 180. Subtract the 18, that's 162, divided by 3, 54. 3y and 3y make 6x, minus 7 plus 1 is minus 6. You do 180 plus 6 and divide that by 6. All right, real simple. So there are a full 16 questions on the test, but pretty much some question ideas get repeated from this. So these 13 should pretty much cover everything that's on there. Opposite angles equal 180. There's a couple that deal with finding the center, finding the length of the diameter, so I could combine them on number 11. So everything you see on here will be on there in one way or another, and there might... All right, let's try that again. So there might be questions that just cover the same thing, like there's a couple of equations, circles on the test. There's one where you have to look at a graph and kind of identify, so since I'm here and talking about it, like we'll just use number 11. So like, let's say there's a question about equations of a circle, but they want you to find it by looking at a graph, and they have the circle. It's kind of a bad circle, but basically identify the center, so that gives you the center point. Go left, right, up, or down. Guys, remember, radius is the same distance for all sides. Find the length of the radius, right? Maybe the radius is 3. And then plug it into the equation like we talked earlier, right? The center point gives you your h and k. The radius should be equal to, whatever you put here should be the radius squared. If the radius is 4, you put 16. If the radius is 3, you put 9, right? But, we covered everything, so I hope this helps. We're ready for tomorrow. Bye.